Hey, good morning and welcome to Breakthrough Walls. I'm Ken Walls and I'm your host. Today, I have the one and only Kellen Fisher. she has so many names. We're going to find out what that's all about here in a minute. So stay with us. Be right back. And we are back. I have Kellen in the green room, and let's bring her on. Kellen, welcome to the show. Wearing the only hat on the planet with my logo on it.
This is my favorite story with you. That we have a story.
Now, I don't go to my I still haven't taken that down, and I need
I keep hoping that by wearing this you'll remember to remove that.
I know I need to do that. So yeah, Kellen, it's been you were scheduled to be on here before and you canceled on me.
So I must be somewhat special that you actually let me come.
Oh no. So look, and you are special. So and you had a very good reason. Mm-hmm. Very, very good reason. And
COVID.
The COVID. Kellen had the COVID.
I think. I mean, I think.
Oh, you didn't get tested?
No, I was tested, but I'm not convinced. You know what I mean?
Did they say yes or no?
Yeah, they did. Yes.
Oh, yeah. But you don't believe in all that.
Not all of it.
I feel you. Kellen, this is this show was created to help people get unstuck in life. I believe that we all have a story and we all go through crap and we all figure out how to get through the crap and over it. And so, you know, I'm excited to hear your story. So why don't you start with where you were born and raised? And first, hold on.
Okay.
Let's tell everybody they should share this out, please.
Yes, please share.
Please share.
Please share. Sharing is caring.
That's right. Kellen, tell everybody where you're born and raised.
I was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. Okay. And I moved when I was 2. We moved to a suburb northwest of Chicago, Carpentersville, and that's where I went to high school. And when I don't know how fast you want me to go because actually it won't go very long because I don't remember my childhood.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I can skip to 5th grade. I won the 5th grade science fair, which I shared my trophy on your show when you, Jennifer Moran and I we all jumped on one night.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I played basketball at Rockford College, and then I was there for 3 years, and then my mom and dad decided to move to California, and I was like, I'm going. So I stopped playing basketball and I packed up my car and followed my mom and dad across the country with a cat in the car with me. And I've been in California for 36 years now, I think. 37 years. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So why did they just it sounds like they had to have been a little bit up there in age
Well, Dad was probably 5 years from retiring. Okay. And he always wanted to live in California. And I swear I'm a California girl that was living in snow.
Wow.
So
why did they want to move? Why?
My dad just loves California. When he got out of the Army, he went to is it Fort Ord? Is that the one in? I don't know. He was stationed in California, and he just always wanted to come back. So he figured he would work his last 5 years at the San Francisco International Airport. He worked for United Airlines.
Okay, cool.
And he drove from Grass Valley to San Francisco every morning.
Is that a long drive?
It's 150 miles.
What?
He'd go to sleep at 7 in the evening and he'd wake up at 4. Yeah, 4 o'clock.
Wow.
But then my mom, like he looked like he aged 10 years. So
Yeah.
he did it for a year, I think. I think it was a year. I'm messed up with my time zones, but yeah, but finally my mom said you need to move to San Bruno. And so he lived there during the week and then came home on weekends. He was less crabby.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And with me as a daughter, it's like
Yeah.
poking the bear, right?
So how old were you then when you went to California?
So let's see, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22.
You remember the snow and living
Oh my
in
God.
Illinois.
We had a shovel burning ceremony the day we left. We put everything in our driveway, the shovels,
Wow.
and my dad set them on fire.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
I remember shoveling
it never
6 feet of
snows
snow.
there. It doesn't snow there.
It snowed in Grass Valley where I had my ranch, but it was enough to build a snowman. You could still drive in it, and yeah.
Wow.
Don't miss the snow.
So you went to California in your early 20s and stayed. You've not lived anywhere else?
Mm-mm.
Wow.
Well, I lived in Grass Valley, and then now I live in Moraga. So I moved 150 miles.
Okay. And not knowing California, that's meaningless to me.
Right.
I don't know what that means.
2-hour and 15-minute drive.
Okay.
To each other.
So here you are in your early 20s. You moved to California. Did you end up going to college?
Yeah, I graduated from Sac State.
Okay.
CSU Sac State.
Okay.
Sacramento.
Okay.
And then it's funny. I graduated. In the meantime, I worked at a pizza restaurant, Mountain Mike's, and I loved it. I loved working at the pizza restaurant.
Really?
And yeah. I was the worst. When I got the job, I was the most entitled and worst employee they've ever had. And then the manager sat me down and he said, "Listen, you have to be nice to people. You can't smash tomatoes on the counter when you're mad at a client."
Wow.
This is a side you've never seen of me. But I was a graduate and I thought, I am above this.
Yeah.
And he knocked me down, and then I became like his best employee, and they made me a manager, and it was fun, but it took Dion Isaacson to knock me off my pedestal.
What was your degree in college?
So I have 3-dimensional studio art and then economics.
So you're a double major. Okay. And how does that fit in with pizza?
It doesn't. Honestly, it didn't fit in with anything. And that was I think the struggle of my whole life. I would try jobs that were very linear and, mathematical, and I'm a creative. And it took me 55 years to determine that and break through.
Wow. So you work, how long did you work at this pizza place after college?
Probably, let's see, 89. Probably 3 years.
Okay. Wow.
But, I was just partying, and not partying, but like drinking with my friends, going to the river.
Yeah.
Just like I didn't have a purpose. And I think that's an important lesson I'm trying to teach my daughter. She's getting ready to play basketball at Worcester. I think that's kind of close to you, maybe an hour or so.
Worcester in Ohio?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about an hour and a half from here, if that.
Yeah, and when I went to college, I didn't have a direction. I didn't know. I was just like, okay. And I honestly think my mom and dad sent me there to find a husband. I don't think they thought I could. I don't know if I shouldn't say that. I don't know what they thought, but yeah. I just get the feeling I was there to find a smart college grad and ride off into the sunset on the white.
Settle down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that, that's what I grew up seeing. My mom didn't work. She stayed home. My dad, he worked at the same job. I think it was 40 years he worked there. And that's kind of what I thought. I'm like, okay, I'm graduating college. Once I get serious, I'm going to find a job that I'm going to stay at until for 40 years. And that whole dynamic changed, especially over the last 10 years. It's like nobody stays at a job for 10 years anymore.
Right.
And,
Right.
and I was having trouble mentally like adapting to that. It was difficult.
So what'd you do?
Okay, pizza receptionist at a real estate company.
Wait. Wait a minute. So you had these degrees. Okay.
Well, I couldn't get a job in the town I was at because it was so small. It was a tiny town. So, and that brought in depression because I'm like, I should be like, why am I a receptionist? But everything I did well. And then I met my ex-husband, and his father owned a real estate company, and I loved him. Oh my God. Everything I did was for my father-in-law. I loved him so much. It breaks my heart that he's not here. But what happened is he called me Bonesy. He says, Bonesy, you got to get your broker's license. And I'm like, okay. I didn't even question it. I'm like, okay, whatever you say, I'll do. So I got my broker's license, and then he brought me into the business, and he's like sharing tips and secrets and how he takes care of people. And this is where you get money if you need to borrow money when times are lean. He told me how to save it and how to make sure that we can make it through lean times. But what I didn't know is he had cancer. And within 2 months, I think it was, he passed away. And then he put me on the checking account. He didn't put his wife on the checking account. Mother-in-law didn't really like me. And I know that's hard to believe, right?
Yeah, seriously.
So I'm running this business, and I'm kicking ass.
This is after he passed away?
Yeah, after he passed away, I just jumped right in because I knew what to do. And I had a great manager. Her name was Beth, and she and I were a team. And we kept agents I did the motivation. Imagine that. And she was like meticulous. She had like a lawyer mentality, and she knew all the rules. And she kept us in compliant. Yeah. So I think it was 6 months into. I had stashed away 30 or 40,000. We were sitting good. We were ready. Well, we weren't ready for 2008 because nobody was ready for 2008.
Right.
But it was over anyway. But anyway, we were standing strong, and then mother-in-law decides she wants to come and run the business. And kicks me out of Dad's office. And
where's where was the husband in all this?
He was off racing.
Mm-hmm. Like
sprint cars. Oh, you mean running?
No. Sprint cars. Okay. That's what he did for a living?
Well, he was a contract. Well, okay. I don't know if we have time for this, but he had a hose shop, which I had to open every morning because he didn't think, because there were customers waiting at 7 and he wouldn't get there till 8 or 9. So I would go
real estate.
No, this is the hose shop. My husband owned a hose shop. Hose and fitting.
What?
Hose and fitting.
Hose
and fitting shop. It's
like
for
garden
hydraulics.
Oh, gotcha. Okay,
so I would open that and then whatever. What was the question?
I just said, where was he in all this? Here you are running the real estate company.
Well,
his father owned.
His dad didn't ask. He knew that they wouldn't do it, and he knew that I would, and he knew that I would do it well.
Got it.
So I guess within a couple months, the checking account was dry, and we closed.
Wow. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a very exciting story.
I'm sorry.
I mean, that was it? Like,
well, she emptied the checking accounts.
Oh.
She went to Reno.
Wow. So, okay, well, where'd you go from there?
I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. I've had like the most eclectic employment career. I
Back to pizza.
no. I was doing commercial real estate because I hated residential. So I was doing commercial, and a privately owned real estate company in town hired me to be their managing broker. So we started up a commercial real estate division for his company, and I knocked it out of the park. It was awesome. Got lots of I brought in like 6 new agents, and I trained them. Well, I didn't train them. I got them to the right, gave them the information,
Yeah.
and provided training, and we rocked it. And then I don't know, I was not, as my friend Joyce says, I didn't feel nourished. I was like, why am I doing all this linear numbers? And I mean, it was fun, and I did well, but it just wasn't, I didn't like it. And I just quit that. And then there's just a time period where from there, I finally had the courage to divorce my husband. And then that was an interesting story too. He was very controlling, and I almost lost my ranch. My daughter and I were getting food at the food bank. And I mean,
Wow.
I had to ask him for $20 for gas to go to go to the food bank. I mean, that's how controlling the whole situation was. So
Wow.
it was demeaning. And I mean, you go from graduating from college on top of the world to just, there were a couple times where I just didn't think I could go on.
Wow.
And the thing that got me through was Emily, my daughter, because I knew that nobody could take care of her as well as I did, and nobody loves her more than I do. And
Wow.
so she's saved my life twice now, literally.
Wow. So you divorced your husband. How long were you all married?
Well, that's another. We were married 18 years, and I've been separated from him for 10.
Wow.
Because he couldn't agree on a settlement, and I got nickeled and dimed with my attorney and never got a divorce. So, but that is being fixed this month, so I'm excited.
Oh, wow. You're still not divorced?
Nope, he wouldn't sign it. So before COVID, I had a date with the court.
Oh.
That if he didn't show up or whatever, I'd be granted.
Yeah.
And well, COVID hit, they canceled all the court dates.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
Yeah, I'm legally married, but legally separated. If we stay together 7 more years, we'll be separated longer than we were married.
Jeez.
But that's going to be a huge baggage lift. That's my big thing this year, is to make that happen.
So what were you? So you were in real estate during 08, 09, that era?
Yep.
And is that about when you got out of it?
Yeah. Actually, part of my husband was also a contractor, and he kept building houses. And I said, no, don't build anymore. Don't build anymore. And he kept building. We ended up with 6 houses in 2008, 6 mortgages. I think it was like 10 grand a month was what we had to pay just in mortgages. And I'm just like, you got to listen to me. I'm reasonably intelligent. I have a broker's license. I've been doing real estate. Please, please, please listen to me. And it's just that was the lesson where I learned I had a voice, and just because he didn't listen to it didn't mean that what I had to say wasn't valid.
Wow.
So they're it's been kind of a
I'm trying to put the timeline together here. So
it's crazy.
At what, 2009, 2010, y'all separated? Where did that happen, and how?
That was 11. That was 2010.
Okay. So you ended up leaving real estate though, and
yeah.
What did you do from there?
I did a lot of. I used to work at a newspaper when I was first actually, that was my first job before the real estate. I worked at the newspaper, and people they'd want me to consult them for ideas and, just help with ads and stuff like that. And then I had a printing business for a while, but that was before the real estate for the father-in-law. I had to sell my printing business to do the work full time for my father-in-law.
Wow.
So I've done absolutely, until 4 months ago, I've done nothing with my art degree, except when I was doing real estate, the creative thing was just like, I got to do something. So I volunteered and I taught art K-5, and I did that for about 15 years.
Wow. As a volunteer.
Yeah, it was fun. I love those kids.
Wow. I keep saying wow.
I know. That's why I named my
But my book is called Walls of Wisdom, which is wow.
WOW.
Yeah. So it's kind of been my theme. So okay, so what happened next?
Then when I moved to Moraga, I had met a man, and it was I thought was the perfect relationship. And again, it was another controlling. I started, we didn't do anything. We stayed in. I wasn't able to do anything with my friends because, he was either tired or didn't want to do it, and then I slowly started feeling smothered again. So long story short, he was ranting one night, and I grabbed all 3 of the dogs and my daughter, and we just ran and got in my car and drove. He thought we were going to basketball practice, and I just went to a hotel, and I just finally felt safe for the first time. I'm like, I can't handle all this chaos. There was just too much. My life was too full of chaos between my ex, his mother, and now this. And so Em and I stayed at a hotel in Walnut Creek, and then it was too expensive. So, and I did have a job at that point. I was working for a window company as an estimator. Again, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
I found a bed and breakfast, or not a bed and breakfast. We closed Airbnb.
Yeah.
And she happened to be a therapist, which was like, it was like, thank you.
Wow.
God gives you what you need, right? When you need it. And so I stayed with her for about 3 months, and then, I built up. She hardly charged me anything. She was just so kind, and gave, she talked to Emily a lot and helped her through, I'm like, oh my God, what kind of example am I setting for her with all these narcissistic relationships and not having a voice? And I just put my foot down. I'm like, okay. So I stayed with her, and then I was working, have a great time. It was a job, I made decent money. I was able to get an apartment, or not apartment. I lived in a condo, or I live in a condo, and I have to live in the school district because the school that I wanted my daughter to go to, you have to be a resident, and they check it. They're very strict about it. So I ended up, I'm like paying crazy rent, like $3,000 a month, and I'm barely, I'm making enough to pay rent, get some food, and, go out to eat once or twice a month.
Yeah.
But my daughter said, I don't care. She goes, I just want to be with you, and you're happy, and things are quiet. And so that was everything. When she said that she was good with that, that made everything. And then I got a raise, and then I jumped forward to 2 years ago. I got what I thought was my dream job, was in media. So I was a sales director for a commercial real estate media company. So I sold their printed publication. I sold digital. I was like, I love this. This is, I could dig my teeth into this one. And I was really excited, and I was building momentum, and I was gaining clients. And then COVID, you know what? Probably 60% of my income for 2020 was supposed to be live events.
Wow.
So, and then, because of it, they said, we can either lay you off, or we can cut your salary, and then we'll pay you a little bit more commission. And I'm like, well, I don't have anything else to do. So yeah, sure. So I was doing that, and just slowly building relationships. We kind of had our heads kind of butted on how to do it, and that's when I got the ding of my life, which I call, was when Jeffrey Gitomer, I got a notification on my phone that he was going live, and I'm like, oh, I love Jeffrey. So I went live and I heard what he had to say, and I'm like, okay, this is a place. This is a place.
Yeah.
And then through that, I met you
Yeah.
and did the Grow Live Academy, and that was the turning point of between not having a relationship and focusing on me and my daughter,
Yeah.
and now my mom. That was the turning point, was, okay, these people are like-minded, they're intelligent, they're willing to share. And I just got between you and Gitomer and then my Megamind group, I felt community, and I felt like, okay, I'm not alone. I felt alone for so long. I mean, I felt like I was a single mom when I was married. Nobody was on the same, not path, but mindset. Like
Yeah.
I wanted to be successful. I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to help people, and I just didn't know how to do it. And you guys just opened up my eyes, and and I see farther now. My dad used to say, you should look past your nose, and I'm like, now I understand what he was saying.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know that I know in our coaching calls, you've had we've all been blessed with Glenn Morshower.
I love Glenn.
And he can see, and I remember, I think it was one night in there that you brought something up, and he's incredible. He helps you see past what you think reality is into what reality actually can be. So
right. And it's mindset. It's I mean, you can teach skills, but you can't teach enthusiasm, motivation. And I had all that. It just had been squashed.
Yeah. Well, so talk about what's been going on since COVID hit, and you realized that you weren't actually making any money at that other place. I don't think.
Not real money. I mean,
Yeah.
I thought, and I love the job in the commercial media space, but because it fed some of my creativity. But I joined the Emerging Sales Winners group, and every day I called somebody that was on the call with Jeffrey, just introduce myself, say hi, how's it going, and that it felt good. Like I'm like communicating with people, like I'm allowed to talk to people.
Yeah.
That grew into my my Zoom call where I said, hey, let's all meet and see if we can help each other. And that started out with 4 people, and it was Rich Villar, me, and Dan Altmeyer.
Dan's awesome.
I love Dan. And there was one more person, I can't remember who it was. And so we met every week and just talked about, how can I help you? What can we do? What do you need? Who do you need to meet? And then I thought, oh, I'm going to have somebody talk about something of their expertise. And then we could all learn, because like I knew nothing about video or, anything. I mean, I was afraid to go on a Zoom call in March.
Yeah.
So we met every week, and then it turned to 15 people, and then it turned to 30 or 40 people. And this is one of the many things I love about you, Ken, is you came on my show, talked about going live on a Zoom call.
Yeah. And I was cringing the entire time.
And the next week I went live. So
yeah.
But I didn't want to reschedule you because everybody was excited you were going to be there. But I just love that about you.
But you know, I think that what you've been able to accomplish thus far is you're going live now
twice a week.
And you're getting your, one of my mentors is Grant Cardone, and Grant has a saying that where he says, if I don't know you, I can't flow you. I can't,
Mhm.
in other words, I'm not, how am I supposed to do business with you if I don't even know who you are or that you exist?
Mhm.
Right.
Yep,
So,
exactly.
and my wife, who didn't know you, but because of our association and seeing you on live streams and whatnot, my wife reached out to you and you made this. And look, if you look, it's sparkly. It's three-dimensional. If I can show that to people, it's really, really cool. And you made this as it was a Christmas gift from my wife to me that you
Did you go
made.
wow when you opened it?
I was like, yeah. I was like, wow, that is beautiful.
Aw.
And so you're using what you originally set out to do, which was the 3D something degree. What's your
Oh,
degree?
three-dimensional studio art.
That, yeah.
That's a
um
big, long title for sculpture.
oh, is that what it's for?
Yeah.
Sculpture? Gotcha. Like on Ghost.
No, actually, it was hand. Well, no,
Oh, okay. But you're using your art degree,
creativity.
your creativity, the art that you pursued, and how's that going for you now? Like when you step back and you look at the big picture of, because although money is unbelievably important, I think it's the most, it's not the most important thing, but like Zig Ziglar said, it's right up there with oxygen.
Well,
um
you need it.
yeah,
It's not a you want it, you need
yeah.
it.
And people that dog on people that want to make a lot of money, um you know I Grant said that somebody walked up to him at a conference. He's like, Grant, all you talk about is money. Like, not everything in the world's about money. And Grant goes, I looked at him and said, you're broke, aren't you? But I mean, look, you cannot positively impact the world if you're broke. It's just not
Right.
possible. You can't
Well,
do it.
what impact was I doing as a window estimator or a sales director?
You're getting by in life. You're
Yeah,
getting
and
by.
now I mean, and there were a couple things I was thinking. How are we going to change the world selling cards?
Right.
Right? How are you going to change the world making framed art? But in my little way, I am, because
Yeah.
I have clients that I sent out a bunch of those frames this Christmas. It was amazing. And my clients are sending me the emails that they got from their gift that they gave.
Yeah.
And they're beautiful. And I'm like, okay, so not only did I make someone happy, but
Right.
I made my client stand out. And when they hang up those frames in their offices, they're going to think of him every single day. And when it comes the time where they need his services or services that he provides, they're going to think of him first. And
Right.
that's what I want to do. I just want to make my clients stand out so that they're the first person that their client thinks of.
It's working.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So what do you think, when you look at back at your life, and Tom Ginn wants you to message him to
I will
chat.
do that.
um oh, he wants to have you on G-Force. That's
Oh,
awesome.
fun. I just wrote a story about G-Force.
Did you?
I'm gonna write that book masterclass with Michael Heppel,
Yeah.
and we had to write a 500 story, and one of the titles you had to choose from was G-Force.
Wow.
That's funny. Okay, sorry. What?
That's the name of his show.
I know. I didn't even think of that. I'm like, oh my gosh. But my story is about a pug that farts.
Oh my God.
It's Gus. He can clear a room.
That's That's all pugs, isn't it? So I want to press the microphone and clap for you. That's hilarious. So, as you continue on this journey that we call life, what do you think, what's in store for you?
I feel like there's no limit right now. I've got the card business, and then now I've got branched out to the gift, corporate gifts and branded items. Well, of course, I also make birth announcements and graduation signs. I'm writing a book, and it's going to be finished in April, end of April. It's called Becoming a Woman of Wow. So I'm kind of telling my story in a tongue-in-cheek kind of way, though, because I don't really do well with serious. I'm pretty much a jokester, but it's a serious topic. But I want people to read it and want to read it, and then maybe they will get some help, or join a community, or just do whatever you need to do to get, like you say, break through that wall.
What's the overarching message in the book?
It's about triumph, and just different things that I had no idea were available to me. I didn't know about different agencies and things like that could have helped me. I mean, I did it all myself, and the other thing is, I feel that if somebody hears my story and part of it or all of it resonates with them, that because sometimes just hearing that someone else is going through the same thing is a huge, huge relief. And if I can help, people can reach out to me, and I can get them to, wherever they need to be directed. The one of the byproducts of this whole journey is I'm working with a women's drop-in shelter. And we did that mega coats. We did a big coat drive for Christmas. All of our mega minds people, we had a goal of 23 coats by the 23rd of December. Well, we ended up getting 500 coats between us. And my place that I brought them was the shelter. And I ended up talking to the director, and I said, you know what? I go, I don't want to just give money. I said, I will, but I want to donate my time and help, because I know when you're at the place where they are, and you have kids and you're alone, you need a pick me up. And I want to help them regain confidence. Not that I'm a professional or anything like that, but I'm just generally a happy person. And I want to maybe teach them how to 657 codes. Oh my gosh.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah. Michelle's the one who spearheaded that. She goes, let's not just talk about doing good things. Let's do it. And she cracked the whip, and we all did it.
That's incredible.
So,
well done.
So I'm also going to try to help them, because, everybody has a phone, and if they have Wi-Fi, I can get them to different places where they can get help and talk to people, or talk to people that are in the same situation. And then maybe I can even help them make money, because a lot of these women are really smart and just had a really bad circumstance. And if they have a skill, they could probably make money on their phone, right?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So your goal is to positively impact women who are struggling with being in
depression, abuse.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
Yeah. Men go through that too.
Yeah, I'll help them too. No, you're right. No, I've talked to men. They're like, I know, when I've talked and shared my story, I've gotten messages, and I'm like, oh my God, if I can help you, I will get you a resource or whatever. Like I said, I'm not a doctor, but I am a doctor of life, because I've read so many psychology books, and because I was trying to figure out, I didn't realize that a man could be nice, not angry. And, my dad, he was an alcoholic, so he was not a figure for me. And when I joined Megamind, and when I joined you, and I joined Emerging Sales, I was like, these are decent guys and they love their wives. And I'm like, it opened my eyes to like, oh, okay, there's hope, you know? I
Yeah.
I guess I'm afraid to be in a relationship right now because I don't know that, you know, at that time I didn't know my choices, my selection process was not that good.
Doug Wing says it, men can be nice.
Doug Wing, you are super nice.
He's one of the nicest guys on planet Earth, like
He sent me a
literally.
picture of a Doug the Pug book yesterday he was at Bed Bath & Beyond. I just love that.
Doug is such a good dude.
So the most important thing is if I can help the woman or whoever, the thing I noticed is I was setting a bad example for my daughter. I was teaching her that it's okay to be bulldozed, it's okay to not be listened to, and I didn't do a very good job of having good male role models. So that was another impetus to make me move away and go to this school because it's a great school, and the coach, Kelly Sopak, he's amazing. So I surrounded her with strong men who were nice. And I mean, everything I've done basically is for my daughter, Emily. I moved her to this school because she was flunking 8th grade and she had a 3rd grade reading level. And I kept asking the counselors, there's something wrong. She's just not, you know, she needs to be tested. And they're like, no. She goes, Mrs. Fisher, you just need to realize that some students are C students. And I went, WTF.
Yeah.
And that right there was the push to move. I researched schools, and my boyfriend at the time lived in Orinda, and he told me, these are the school. This is where you need her to go. This is where you need her to go. And I researched it. They had an IEP program that was unbelievable. And so 8th grade, 3rd grade reading level, barely passing. Wow. Freshman year, 3.8. 8th grade reading level, scholar athlete.
Wow.
So know everybody. Some students aren't just C students. Some students just need to you need to figure out what makes them tick, what makes them work.
I despise our one size fits all educational system. It's ridiculous. And my wife and I encourage, you know, I mean, it's like, be you, like whatever that is, like be you.
So you know what I do every year? I send that counselor Emily's Scholar Athlete certificate.
Good. Yeah, I mean, again, there's, you know, I didn't even graduate high school yet. I've written books and done pretty well in life. So I've had lots of college graduates work for me, and about 70% of them couldn't pour piss out of a boot if the instructions were on the heel. So, but you know, I mean, and again, I'm not saying that a formal education isn't somewhat important, but I think
it's important if you have a direction. I mean, sometimes I think, God, my mom and dad waste their money. And actually, it took me 7 years to graduate college. And when my dad hugged me at graduation day, he says, "Are you a doctor?"
Right. And that was with a bachelor's degree.
Right.
Wow.
Well, I had no direction. I kept changing my mind. I was going to be a psych major. I was going to be an English major. I was going to, you know, it's like, I just didn't have a direction. That's what I tell my daughter. I go, if you don't know where you're going, what direction, then you're going to do JC. But she's mapped it out, and I'm so flippin' proud of her. She's a rock star.
And that comes down to intention. Once you set an intention and you know exactly where you're going, but again, if you don't know, like you're gonna become what Zig Ziglar called a wandering generality, and you know that's not a good place to be. So you know, I'll tell you, as a recovered alcoholic with 18 years sober, I was dual diagnosed. I was incredibly codependent as well. And so I went through a lot of healing and did a lot of work to escape codependency, which it sounds like you may have experienced that. And I think that one of the most important things that somebody said to me back then was, hey, Ken, you know, there were two people in that relationship. It wasn't just that woman that was all the problem. Do you get that? And I'm like, no, you don't understand. She was crazy. She blah 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 blah. Yeah, but what was your part in it? Somebody forced me to look at my role in these, because I was the only common denominator in all of my problems. It wasn't right.
Yeah.
It didn't matter where I lived or who I was with. I was the common denominator. Have you had that moment where you went, okay, maybe there's a degree of this that it was me and my picker, and I'm picking and I need to look at some things that I'm doing. Have you had any of those moments?
I joined a 12-step program and didn't know why. It was right just before I was getting ready to separate. And I was like, I went to my pastor. I'm like, Ron, I'm crying, I'm crying all the time. I can't handle life. I don't know what's going on. And he sat and talked with me for like 15 minutes. And he said, you need to go celebrate recovery. And I said, for what? And he goes, you'll find out. And I did. I went, I completed the 12-step program. And in that, I determined or discovered that I was a codependent. And that was crazy because people are like, why are you here? I go, I don't know. I'm trying to find out. And then that's it. I mean, that was a game changer too. I'm like, oh my gosh, that changed everything. And, the marriage, I am not perfect. I'm not saying that this was all his fault. I'm a lousy communicator. I'm eclectic in my thoughts, and I'm kind of a bulldozer and just do stuff once I have it in my mind. Yeah. And that's not good for a healthy relationship either. But the two of us, it just didn't work. But yeah, 12-step program. I got a certificate and everything.
Wow.
I have a degree and a graduation from a 12-step program.
I've never gotten a certificate. I think when you're an alcoholic, they don't let you graduate. You have to keep, I
still do a lot of the practices. I mean, I still do a lot of them. And I'm still a work in progress. I'm like maybe 50-60% of where I want to be. But I'm really happy on my path. I mean, I love what I'm doing. I love helping. I love my whole circle right now, because I've got my spiritual, I've got my professional, family, like relationship. I put that off to the side for a while because I just want to, and like I said, I've been concentrating on my daughter since she was born. And when she graduates and gets to where she wants to go, well, I think I told you I'm moving out of California.
You said that. Yeah. Which isn't a terrible idea considering,
I've gotten 2 letters to recall Newsom, a petition. Please sign this petition. 2 of them.
Nice. Yeah. I hear there's over 1 million signatures on that now. I've heard. So yeah, that's what moms do.
Oh, hi, Jill. Jill's on my show next week. I hope she remembers. Do you remember that, Jill?
She'll remember.
Because my Candidly Speaking show is, inspirational women and goofy makeup talk. But Jill, I decided to do this series, The Women Behind the Men. And then I said, oops, not behind. So Jill, and then Lene.
Yeah. Soto. Yeah.
Jen's going to come back on. It's going to be fun. We're going to do the women.
Awesome. Jill is a brilliant woman. I can, she said, I do. I looking forward to it. So, yeah, Jill, I met Jill when she was about 40 years old, and she was a career woman. And I calmed her down. I got her knocked up, calmed her down.
Oh my God.
She had never even thought about having children, not really. And and we have a great blessing from that. But so you what's coming for you? What intention have you set for the next for 2021?
Well, I'll finish my first book. I have a second book that I'm starting after that right away, is Raising a Woman of Wow, because I'm really proud of if there's one thing that I'm proud of in this whole world, it's how I raised my daughter. She's strong, she's resilient, she has an attitude these days, but I think that comes with having a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
And I'm really proud because we have, probably 98% open communication. We've talked about everything. We do talk about everything. And sometimes I wish I didn't bring up a subject, but if she's willing to talk to me, I'm happy. She's turned her life around as far as academically, and she chose the school herself. Because I'm like, I'm not going to push you anywhere. If you want to go to school, research it. But I did. So one of the ladies that was on your show, the one that has the tutoring, she has a tutoring business.
Okay.
Do you remember who that is?
No.
Well, anyway, after your show, I called her and I hired her.
It wasn't Emily Mishler, was it?
No. It's
no. I know who you're talking about. Yeah. I can picture her.
Yeah,
she has red hair.
Yes. And so I hired her company to tutor Emily through the college choice and application process.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so now she's got 2 coaches that are texting her to come visit and check out their school for basketball.
Well, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah. So I've got that book, and then I'm going to do something with pugs. I'm not sure. I've got probably 4 books in me about pugs. But I'm going to get the first 2 biggie ones done first.
Pugs look like they chase parked cars a lot.
Mm-hmm. And they snore and they fart. My daughter's the reason I have pugs. She said, I want a dog. So I made her research it. And the next thing you know, she goes, I want a pug. And I'm like, a pug?
Yeah.
And yeah. Yes, they did, Jill. Like I said, they helped her through the applications, through the essays, and
Joaquin.
Yeah. So pugs, 2 books. I'm going to grow my business. I hired a virtual assistant yesterday.
Good.
I'm so because I can't keep up with all the social media stuff that you have to do. Do you have somebody do that for you, right? Because
no,
you do it.
I mean, I have somebody that does video editing stuff for me, and I do all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm just growing my business, helping Emily flourish, and then start working on my own happiness. My continued. And then are we going to talk about Clubhouse?
Not yet. Well, I want to help you focus on what the growing your business part means. What's that mean for you? Like, take it from what to what? What's the goal? What's the target?
I want to get just before I need to automate because I really like making them. And I think people like that they're handmade and they're not from a machine. And so I'm going to have to figure out my model so that I can keep up with demand, because I just got an order for 500 of them. And that's not a big deal, but I'm just saying, I know I'm going to get larger orders. So I'm either going to have somebody help me make them, or, but I don't want to grow to the point of automation just yet. I just want to keep comfortably busy and, be able to support certain, charities that I normally support, but I also want to have a quality of life. And having this opposed to all my other jobs, my quality of life has improved like 120%.
That's awesome. Yeah, because I mean, you pretty much, because of COVID, you pretty much lost your income, right?
Well, half of my salary, which wasn't that much.
Right. And you had to figure out, it's funny is you had to figure out how to survive, and you fell back on what you love.
Right. And it was Ronnie Goodwin. I love him.
Yeah.
He had done something. I think he was a guest on my show. So I made him a card and I sent it to him as a thank you. And he's like, oh, you should sell these. And I'm like, oh, no, nobody can afford these because they're a lot of work.
Yeah.
And he goes, you're just targeting the wrong audience.
That's
So
right.
between him and then Jen Gittimer, coach, has been coaching me.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I haven't been this happy, I think, in my whole life.
That's awesome.
And I couldn't have done it without community, meaning Grow Live, Emerge, or, the Gittimers. They're a godsend.
They're amazing.
And
Jeffrey texted me this morning. I love them. They're amazing.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's that little ding that propelled the career part of my life. I've been a work in progress the entire time, learning. But this was kind of like quick, it's like, oh my God, you are on the fast track to great. Oh, look at from 0 to wow. Thanks, Michelle. But community, I mean, you can't do it alone. I did everything alone. Being in a group of like-minded people and sharing and having it be a safe place. I mean, of all those groups that I'm in, I could go anywhere, post a video, get a comment, get feedback without fear of, just,
What do you think, looking back over your life, whether it's your adult life or maybe it's your whole life, looking back, what do you think has been the number one thing that's held you back from experiencing financial success or has prevented massive financial goals, or just experiencing freedom and happiness in life? What do you think that is?
It's an easy answer. And I figured that out on my journey, is trusting my intuition. I was made to feel like I was making poor choices and that I wasn't intelligent and, just the whole. So it's the minute I started saying, okay, I'm going to try this out. Okay, I'm going to try this out. And as soon as I started trusting my intuition, I mean, I wouldn't have been doing this business if I didn't say, no, this is going to be a good thing. This is a good idea. I mean, I'm learning and stumbling all around, all the way, but I don't care. It's like, if it's a bump in the road, I just go over it and figure out how to not hit that bump again.
Right.
But it's intuition, trusting your own ability and your, what your mind has to tell you, and bringing back your inner child. That's a big one.
So you think that's common among most people that are
I don't know. I think a lot of women, or the women that are, say abused, or, they don't trust their confidence is really low. And with low confidence, you're not going to trust your intuition at all. And that's I'm speaking for myself, but I'm thinking that's a pretty general thing. Low confidence, low self-esteem. Oh my God, whatever you say isn't gonna do you any good or anybody else. Right. And that's a mindset that I'd love to change.
Yeah. And what do you think? What's for somebody that may be watching, suffering from low confidence or low self-esteem? What is the and it could be a man, it could be anybody. Mm-hmm. What do you think what's the first thing they should do to start getting that back?
I think you need to stop doing everything yourself, and you need to reach out, build a tribe, build a community, find people that you feel safe with, which is crazy because the Megamind group I'm in, we're all complete strangers. But when we got together, and same with Grow Live, we're all complete strangers, but we're a family. Yeah. It's like it was instant trust.
Yeah.
So trust yourself and find a community.
Or here, Ron Goodwin is on here. I love Ron. He's a great dude.
I love Ronnie too.
But I think that people need to hear what you just said, and that is get involved in communities that will lift you up and support you. I mean, Kellen, I know that I don't know the percentage, but I would say 80-90% of the people in the Grow Live Academy community alone have in some way or another either received cards from you or done business with you, and you wouldn't know those people had you not said, I need to get involved in this community. Same with Jeffrey and Jen's group. And it's like people don't get that. I think people stay stuck because they get in that I'm not going to reach out, or
paralyzed.
And it's shame and guilt and all of that, right?
And low self-esteem and
right,
paralyzed, literally. I mean,
yeah.
In bed thinking, oh God, just let this day be over,
at 9 o'clock in the morning. Right.
Now I get up at 6. I can't wait. Well, of course, I told you I didn't sleep much last night because I was afraid I'd oversleep.
That's insane. Wow. That I'm honored and humbled that you think so highly of being on this show, that you would stay up all night like that.
I wasn't on Clubhouse either. I wasn't on Clubhouse. I was like laying there just like, okay, if I sleep on, and I set 2 alarms.
Wow. Look what Theodora says to you.
Oh, well, you can reach out to me.
She's a sweetheart. She's been on a lot of live streams with Glenn and I. So what is and we can touch on Clubhouse. Clubhouse is a phenomenal new thing that's out, and it's for iPhone users only, and it's phenomenal. It's a community of people where it's audio drop in, and the relationships I'm building on there, and I know you are. And
oh my God, I got 6 orders last week
from Clubhouse. Wow, it's incredible. It's absolutely it's phenomenal. And Glenn and I have some pretty big plans for doing some Clubhouse stuff. Him and I have already been on there. I think I've created a monster.
Every time I look, I see him online. I'm like, Glenn.
I'm like, dude, you gotta check out Clubhouse. He's like, what's Clubhouse? And I'm like, it's this new app, man. You got to check it out. And now he's just blown away by it. So,
well, it's you know what I tell people, it's when I lost the event industry. I mean, people went there, to hear the presenter, but they're there to network.
Yes,
and you can't network on Zoom. You can network in Clubhouse.
You can. Absolutely. Yeah. And you can create your own rooms, and you can do it's phenomenal, and you can make it about anything you want. It doesn't matter what it is. You could say, hey, I have some tips on branding, or Ron Goodwin, why you need a quality t-shirt. Ron will love this story. I bought this I wanted an AC/DC Back in Black t-shirt. So I went to Amazon. I bought one. I shouldn't say this because I'm an Amazon influencer, but whatever. I bought one, and the first time Jill washed it, she brings it into me holding it up, and the Back in Black was gone. Like it was gone. It just said, and you could barely see AC/DC on it. And I go, what the heck? I guess they meant literally it's going back because it's a black t-shirt. It's back to black, all black with no lettering.
Crazy. Oh, I was going to wear my capitalism shirt that I bought from your store.
Yeah. Well, that one's holding up. But
it's a good one. It's a good one.
Again, it comes down to quality, and what you create is extremely high quality. And I'll show everybody again, like this is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Look at that. It's 3-dimensional. It's glittery. The whole thing. It's beautiful. I took it down. It hangs right here on my wall. I took it down just to show during the show. So
after Ronnie Goodwin's card, this is the card that started it all.
Here, let me look at that. Yeah. And it's raised. It's like, it's hard to explain. You have to feel it. It's almost 3-dimensional.
Joe Soto loves it. He's like, he went out when he interviewed me, he's like, you need to feel it. And he was like, so
yeah.
Check this one out. Doug Wing.
That's awesome.
Jill designed this logo, didn't she?
She did. She sure did.
I love it.
Yeah. So it is, and Joaquin says it's wowing, incredible, and it really, really, truly is. And I think that Kellen, I think there's some beautiful things in store for you. I think you've got a really incredible future in front of you. So
Thank you.
you keep doing what you're doing. I'm proud to call you a friend. I'm honored that you're part of my family and my group, and I'm very honored that you came on here today. Where's the best place for everyone to find you and follow you and all of that?
So my cards that wow I'm on Instagram, Facebook.
Do you have a website?
www.cardsthatwow.com.
www.cardsthatwow.com. Okay, I'm going to scroll that across the bottom.
Thank you.
And Kellen, you are a rock star. We absolutely love you. I'm proud of you because I know more of the story that we won't go into. We've had some conversations, and I'm proud of you for what you've done. You've gotten through it, and you're coming out on the other side, and you're kicking ass. And
I appreciate you, because you and Jeffrey and my group, my Mega Minds, are all part of my success, and very big parts of my success. And I love our family.
You're awesome.
Thank
you for coming on and sharing. Everybody go to cardsthatwow.com. Kellen owns literally the only hat. That is the only hat on planet Earth with my logo on it. Do you want to tell the story?
So one day, well, it was just before you were going to be the guest on my show. And I thought, I'm going to go see if he has some swag, because I have your book, but it's on audio.
Yeah.
So I couldn't hold it up. So I thought, so I saw, he has swag, and I got a hat, and I could get it in white or black or pink. And I love pink, and I ordered it. And then I think it was 40 minutes later, did you send me a message, right?
I did. I'm like, did you order something off my, how did you order something? It said you ordered a hat or something. Yeah. You're like, and I said, yeah, it's on your website. Hat. And I'm like, it is? And I keep forgetting that it's on my website.
You said you put it up there to give a sample to a client, like to show a client how it looks.
Yeah.
And then you said, well, I'll get your money back. And I'm like, okay. And then I think you spent 2 hours. Like, this hat, you lost money on this one.
Yeah, I lost money. And I said, that's coming off my website, and I keep forgetting. I need to get that link off my website. I don't need people buying swag. It literally was something I put up to show somebody how easy it is to create a store on the web. And yeah, anyway.
Well, 2 hours later, you said, well, your hat's being shipped.
Yeah. And you got it. I was like, oh my God.
I wear it everywhere. Like, when I travel, I bring it with me. And
oh my God. Like, it's the only hat on the planet with my logo on it. That's insane.
There we go. Oh my God.
Kellen,
I love that story. We have good stories.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
and thank you. And I appreciate you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate you as well. And thank you for coming on and sharing your story and your heart and your love and your kindness. Thank you for everything. Everybody go over to Cards That Wow right now. Connect with Kellen. Follow her on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere. So, look, celebrate a celebrity endorsement. Who's the celebrity? Yes, thank you, Kellen. You're the celebrity. Thank
you. It's you. Wait.
You're amazing. Thank you all for watching, and thank you if you shared this out. If you didn't share it out, Kellen already told me she's going to go back through all the comments and see who didn't share it, and she's going to publicly humiliate you.
Yep,
so,
and I will.
I'm kidding.
Well, I don't have time. I'll have my assistant do it.
Yeah. So, oh my God, Jesse, Michelle said, as soon as I order this hat. No, please don't. It's a nightmare.
It was a bargain.
Jill, take it off the website now. Oh. Anyway, so hey, listen, thank you. I appreciate you, and thanks for sharing your story. You're amazing.
Thank you. Bye,
We'll
everybody.
see you guys later. Have a great day. Bye bye.